It is all over. It is all done. The Golden State Warriors, after a 129-120 victory over a very impressive Cleveland Cavaliers team, are champions for the second time in 3 years. And this time, obviously, Kevin Durant, a part of this mix. It's just a reminder that even if LeBron is the greatest player of all time, and by the way, he may still be, there's no match whatsoever for the greatest team of all time. Because LeBron was nothing short of astounding. And let's just take a moment and focus on his excellence, even though, yes, he lost another NBA Finals, this one in 5 games. The first player in the history of the Finals to average a triple-double. His numbers in Game 5 alone, pretty remarkable. 41 points, 63% from the field, 13 rebounds, 8 assists, 7 of those in the second half, 14 points in the fourth quarter. LeBron was nothing short of not just special, but historically remarkable even in the loss. And here's the thing about this finals game last night in which the Warriors obviously bested Cleveland. LeBron got help. Kyrie Irving was great, scored 20-some points again. J.R. Smith had by far the best finals game, maybe the best postseason game of his career. 25 points on 7 of 8 three-point shooting. He was a spark plug. Tristan Thompson, a guy that vanished early in this series, wasn't just present, wasn't just active, wasn't just tough. He was effective for 15 and 8. And I know people love to hate on Kevin Love, and he didn't score a lot of points in Game 5, but he was remarkably active on the boards, on defense, on trying to inject some energy, some belief, some swagger into a Cleveland team that played, despite the fact they lost in 5, really, really well over the last few games. Cleveland and LeBron were really good. And despite that, despite how well they played and how formidable they are as a team, the defending champions, at every timeout, they unfortunately looked like this.
We're stuck. You know what? Maybe everyone should sit down.
So as you can see from the video, they're a little out of shape, but they're still a very good basketball team. The reason they played so well and couldn't get it done is simple. The Golden State Warriors are almost certainly, when we look back years from now, the greatest team in the history of the National Basketball Association. Think about it. A 73-win team last year melded perfectly Kevin Durant into the machine, what they do, and who they are. Second best defense in the league, best offense in the league, and they just rolled through one of the great players we have ever seen in LeBron James, who had a great fourth quarter, who was incredibly efficient, who averaged the first triple-double in finals history. The Warriors are simply that good, and it's just the beginning. It is so unfair. Let's start with Kevin Durant. What can you say? The dude was a stud. He is a worthy MVP in the finals. In Game 5, he had 39 points on 14 of 20 shooting, and there was just a life that he injected into this team, a sense for LeBron James and everyone who either faced this squad or watched like we did, all of us at home, or for me at Oracle Arena, they're just too much. Part of that, too, is because Steph Curry again reverted to form, looked like an MVP, looked like a unanimous MVP. We'll go inside the numbers a little bit later in the show. Trust me, this guy was 1B to Durant's 1A in these NBA Finals. 10 for 20, 34 points, 10 and 6. He was absolutely incredible. I understand that people are going to get angry when I say, and when history over time says, this Warriors team is probably better than the 1996 Bulls team, which was the best team of all time until last night. They won 72 games. They had Michael Jordan. They're obviously incredible. And people are going to say, oh, Bill, the Warriors lost their chance at 16-0, the first perfect postseason in the history of the NBA. They lost that Game 4. It means something. That blemish keeps them from being Jordan's 96 Bulls. And I will counter with this. That Chicago Bulls team, as incredible as they were, lost not 1, but 2 games in their quest to the finals, in that finals alone, against Seattle. And that team had the guy who would go on to be the greatest player in the history of the NBA. The Warriors just bested, for the second time in 3 years, this generation's version of Michael, this generation's player who may end his career as the best player in the history of the game. The fact of the matter is, this Warriors team, as Steve Kerr put it so eloquently and jokingly, is the sign of human evolution. No, it doesn't happen in reverse. It happens in forward with history, including in sports, including the NBA. And this Warriors team, by beating the Cavs, by losing a single game in the postseason, by bringing Kevin Durant into the mix with Steph Curry and Draymond Green and Klay Thompson and everything they do so well, is one of the greatest teams in the history of the NBA. And when we look back, will be considered the best of all time. And that's before we consider next year, where they're huge favorites, and the year after, and the year after that, when they're likely to win 2 or 3, or in the years ahead, maybe 4 more NBA championships. I'm sitting here in San Francisco. It's a beautiful day, and at least for the moment, it is the epicenter, not just of the NBA, but of the NBA's high point for a team in the history of the league.